So in September, I participated in Becca's Bookopoly-thon, a month-long readathon, and I had so much fun. And I feel like my reading, like I got so much reading done that I wanted to participate in another month-long readathon, and one happened to come up that I found out about. So in October, instead of doing my TBR, I am actually going to be doing another readathon, and it is the Trick-or-Treatathon. I will link the host's Instagram and the video that I watched that I found out about it down in the description below. But this is going to be my TBR, and it's a long TBR. It's a bingo themed readathon, and you can only use one book per prompt, so I did have to pick a lot of books. So I'm not going to be going into any like depth about the books or anything, but I just figured I would list off all the books that I have along with the prompts that they fulfill. Yeah, let's just get into it. Let's try to make this quick. Like I said, it's a lot of books. It's 24 books, so let's just go through them. Okay, so in the like rules and whatever, they actually have 40 prompts that you can choose from, so you choose 24 of the 40. So I'm not going to go over all 40 of the prompts. I'm only going to mention the ones that I chose books for. So starting with prompt number 1, I chose, it's October, read a book that was published in October. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. That is also a buddy read book for the readathon, and oh god, I did not explain this at all. In this readathon, there's 5 different teams that you can be on, and each team has a trick and a treat, and you have to complete the trick before you get the treat. Not going into too much detail again, but my team, I'm on Team Fall, and my team's trick is you have to read a book set in fall or in the month of November, and so the Scorpio Races fits that, so I'm going to do that. And then my team's treat is that you get to read a book to fulfill a prompt that you started before October 1st. And I do have a book that I'm not going to finish before the end of September, so that's going to be my treat book, and we'll get to that later on. But yeah, so the Scorpio Races was published in October, and it also is set in November, I believe. So it works for prompt number 1 and my team's trick. The second one is movie night. Read a book that has a movie or TV adaptation, then watch it. And the book that I'm going to read for this is Ready Player One. My husband has the book, and actually he has the audiobook, and I believe we have the movie, but I've never watched it. So that's going to be for that. Number 3 I chose was read a captain's favorite book. So for this, I'm going to read Zodiac Academy. It is one of the Team Fall's captain's favorite books. They gave us like a list, so. And I've been wanting to read it for a while. I've been hearing a little bit of buzz about it on BookTube. Not necessarily that it's great, but just like it's been mentioned a lot. So I'm gonna read that one. Okay, the next one is treat, reread a favorite book and enjoy a fall treat. And for that one, I have been meaning to reread the Alana series, like the Lioness Quartet, for a really long time. This was one of my favorite books when I was a kid, and so I figure it's a little short guy, it'll be easy to read, and it is rereading a favorite, so that is what I'm going to read for that. The next one is Prankster, and it's to read a banned book, and for this I'm going to read James and the Giant Peach. Again, it's a childhood favorite that I've been wanting to reread, and it is on the banned books list. It's not like one of the big ones, but it just kind of fit for me, so that's what I'm going to be reading for that. Okay, the next one I'm super excited about. It is to be continued, and it's to read the next book in a series. And for this one, I'm going to be reading The Hawthorne Legacy. I am so excited about this. I actually just finished the Inheritance games a few days ago, and I'm itching to pick up the next one. So this is probably one of the ones that I am the most excited about. Okay, my next one is Squirrel Cash, and it is to read one of the oldest books on your TBR. So for this one, this is one of the ones that I'm not super excited about, and I don't know if I'll get to. Just to be clear, I don't read 24 books in a month. I am not expecting to read all of these. It's basically just a big list of 24 books that I can choose from. And I'll just get to as many as I can. I'll have a good time. Hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done. But I'm not planning on reading, or I'm not anticipating being able to read 24 books in a month. just so we're clear. So for this one of the oldest books on my TBR, I just went into my Goodreads TBR and found the first one that still sounded kind of interesting to me, and that is The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. I have read a couple of Casey West books in the past. I enjoyed them, but I'm also not really in a place in my life where I read a ton of like young adult contemporary romance, so I don't really know how that'll go. Okay, the next prompt is Slumber Party, and it is a friend picks a book for you. I used my husband. He is my friend, so I gave him 4 books to choose from, and the one that he chose is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I asked him why he chose this one because he is a fantasy reader, and I gave him a couple of fantasies to choose from as well. And he chose this one. And he said, well, I read the summaries on all the back and then I just picked one. And I said, for any particular reason? And he said, no. So he picked Love and Other Words for me. The next prompt that I chose is Grimm, and it's just to read a Grimm fairy tale. I have a giant book of Grimm's fairy tales. I'm not going to read this whole book, so I'm actually going to see if I can find an individual one somewhere. But if I can't, I'll just pick one from the book. I don't know if I would be expected to read this whole book, but I'm not gonna do that. It is well over 700 pages long, so yeah. I'm gonna hold this up, but I'm probably gonna try to find an individual one somewhere. So I don't know exactly which one I'm gonna read yet, but I have choices. Okay, the next one is Sugar Skull, and that is to read a middle grade. So for this one, there is a middle grade series I found. It's called, like the series I think, is called Love, Sugar, Magic. I don't remember what the first book is called. The picture will be on the screen, but that's what I plan to read for that one. Okay, the next one is Chill in the Air, and it's a book set in winter. For this, I'm going to pick up a classic. I'm going to pick up Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Okay, so the next one is Monsters. Read a book that has zombie, mummy, vampire, werewolf, or Frankenstein. For this, I'm going to be reading Stormfront, the first book in the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. Okay, the next one is Coven, and it's read a book with sisters or the found family trope. For this one, I am going to read Nettle and Bone. It's been on my kind of like more immediate TBR for a while, and I haven't gotten a chance to pick it up, but it does involve sisters in some capacity, so that's going to be my choice for that one. Back to school, read a book with a school setting. For that, I'm going to pick up The Ravens. I bought this book earlier this month. I bought this book recently and I'm very excited to read it. So it takes place at a university, it involves a sorority, so it's perfect for this prompt. Okay, the next one is Costume Contest. It's to read a book with an award on the cover. For this one, I'm going to read a graphic novel called New Kid, and it won the John Newbery Medal. So yeah, works perfectly. And it's a graphic novel, so it's gonna be quick. I like that. I tried to shove some like shorter, quicker books in here just to maximize the amount of prompts cross off my bingo board, but we'll see. All right, the next one is Murder, or it looks like murder, and it involves a book involving a murder. And for that, I'm going to read Murder on Cape Cod. It's a cozy mystery. I love cozy mysteries this time of year, so I tried to shove a bunch of those on here as well. Graphic novels and cozy mysteries. That's what October is going to be, I think. But yeah, so Murder on Cape Cod. Bonus points for the fact that it is set in Massachusetts. Books set in New England are like, that's like a thing for me. It's a buzzword for me. Anything that's set in New England, I'm interested in pretty much. The next one is Flirt with Danger, and it's just to read a romance, which is very easy for me, but I also, so I was talking about the Trick and the Treat. I started a romance book in September. I'm not going to finish it by the end of September, so I'm going to carry it over, so it will count as my treat. So I have to make sure that I read the Scorpio races so that I am eligible for my treat. But that is A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. The next one is Change in the Air. Read a book with fall colors on the cover, a book with mostly yellow, red, green, orange, or brown. This one might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm counting it because, again, I bought this book recently and I'm excited to read it. And I just needed to fit it in here somehow. So that is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. I'm counting it. It has brown, it has gold / orange, like orangey gold. Her hair is red. The writing is yellow / gold. Her cloak is blue, but it's a very like dusky fall kind of blue. So I'm counting it. I hope that's okay. I'm counting it for fall colors. Okay, the next one is Halloween. Read a book set during Halloween or has Halloween in the title. And this one is both. I'm reading Halloween Party Murder. It's another cozy mystery. I don't know anything about it, but it fit the prompt. Okay, the next one is Writing on the Wall, to read a nonfiction book. And for this, I'm going to read 7 Days of Simplicity. My husband and I have been going through kind of not like a minimalism journey, but we've been going through and getting rid of a lot of the stuff that we own, just like the excess stuff. So I've been really interested in like books on minimalism and simplicity and all this, so it fits. The next one is Spells, and it's to read a book of poetry, a written with mixed media, a short story collection, comic, manga, or graphic novel. For this, I'm going to be reading a manga. I'm going to be reading the first volume of Spy X Family. I don't know how it's said, but yeah, that one. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been all over BookTube and BookTok and Book Twitter and Book Everything. Okay, the next prompt is Festival Food, and it's to read a book with food on the cover. And for that one, I'm going to read a +1 for Murder. There is a bunch of food on the cover. It's another cozy mystery. So, like I said, graphic novels and cozy mysteries. That's what I'm about in October. Okay, the next one is Pumpkin. Read a book with pumpkins on the cover in the title. And for that one, I'm going to read Death by Pumpkin Spice. I believe it's by Alex Erickson. I read Death by Eggnog a couple years ago and I enjoyed it. And this is just another one in that kind of series. Okay, and the last one is Kidnapped. Read a book set outside the country that you live in or a book with someone kidnapped. For that, I'm going to read The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. It takes place in England, I believe. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. I read The Flatshare and I really liked it, so hopefully I will like this one as well. Okay, so that's it. That was a lot. This video is gonna require a lot of editing. It's very long. So that is my TBR for Trick-or-Treatathon. Like I said, I will link all of the information about the readathon that I have down below if you want to check it out. It is one of those readathons that takes like a little bit of prep, so I don't know when this video is going to get up, but it might be a little bit of a squeeze if you wanted to join in at this point, but regardless, I'll put all the stuff down below. All right, so that's it for this video. Let me know if you have read any of these books, if you liked them, if you think I'll like them. If you're participating in this readathon, let me know, obviously. And yeah, I guess that's it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.